Hey guys, this is Chris from Undead Soldiers Airsoft. Today we have a version 2 gearbox that we're going to take apart because it needs some lubing and has some trigger issues. One of the things you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver or whatever the 6 to 7 screws are in it. And you might want a smaller flat tip to reach into like the holes to align gears and reversal latches and stuff like that. But this has a gear for the selector switch. I want to just take that off so you don't lose it. And then you're just going to start by removing all of these screws. You might need someone to help you with this. Not necessarily unscrewing it, but after you unscrew everything to make sure that the spring doesn't shoot out and everything else. This is a relatively old spring, so it doesn't have that much tension. Just make sure you don't lose any of these. Alright. The easiest way to go about this is to insert the screwdriver into the hole in the back where the spring guide is. And you can also put your finger over this. The gears are gonna come out of their positions and then just lift up, and then it should be decently in one piece. And then just control this when you let it go. Alright, and then what you need to watch out for is the bearings and the shims that are on top of the gears. You can pull out the piston and then take off the cylinder. I'm just going to take this all the way down so that if you guys have a piece that you can't locate where it's supposed to go to, I can show you where. So pretty much the trigger, I have a shim right there. Most of the trigger usually stays in. I don't usually take that out along with the actual trigger and then the electrical for the trigger. I don't usually take any of that stuff out, but this is the anti-reversal latch, which is the biggest pain in this whole, the whole weapon usually. And it has a spring on it right here. And it goes over the top of that. And then you're going to place it in. And this is, the springs are usually different for each weapon. So, but this one, the loose end pushes against the inside of this. Sometimes they'll be in this gap. So, but it all depends on your weapon. And then after you do that, you're going to take this. Just make sure that your wires stay in place. You're going to make sure that they're down there, otherwise they're going to get chewed up by the motor. But you're going to pull this back. You either pull it back, which sometimes it's just easier to hold it in place and push the gear against it to get it to stay in there. And then you just have to watch out for that, because that one will pop out no matter what. I try to do that one last, but alright. Then what you need to do is make sure that this is on correctly. Make sure it's not like sinking in one way like that is. Just make sure it's pulled out. It's like that, really flush. Alright, and then you're going to, oh, keeps popping out now. You're going to put this on right there. And then for this one's spring, its spring looks like this. It has two circles in different directions. So one is going to hook onto this, and then the other is going onto this little knob right here. And put that on, and then there's a little knob that the other side of this hole will fall onto in the gearbox to keep it in place. And then in here, there's a groove right here. You have to make sure that this spring is in that groove. Otherwise it won't close all the way. And then you're going to, see how that's already in? You can put this in there now. Make sure that it's, any of these splines aren't in the way. It's usually better to go about right there or something like that. Because if you have it like this, then the piston will be caught on it when you try to put that in. Just going to put that in there. You're good with that. And then you can insert the piston, which also has this groove, which matches up to the groove right here. And then, like I said, if these aren't turning the right way, there goes the hand reversal latch. But pain. Alright, that's why it's just easier to leave that one until the end, and then twist this so that none of the gears are touching these, and then you can make sure it's on the spot it's supposed to be, slide it all the way in there, and then you can put the anti-reversal latch back in. Honestly, you can wait till the end to do this, but sometimes it's annoying to just keep messing with everything. If you can get it to stay, then you may as well just do it now. Alright, this is a big tough part about doing a gearbox. Things how it's so old, it's pretty easy to do. It's pretty weak spring. And then all you're going to do is make sure that you have all your pieces in here. That one is on top of this gear right here, so we're good right there. And then we're going to just place it on there. Oh, now it's falling out. Just make sure these are all in place. Sometimes if they're not actually secure, then you can just put them on top of the gear that they're supposed to connect to. That makes it a little bit easier. And then you can either go from the back where the spring guide is and get it connected, or start with the nub that's on this side of the gearbox. And then all you're going to do from here is take that small piece and start moving this stuff around so they're all match up. So like this piece right here isn't aligned. This gear is a little bit crooked. You're just gonna have to keep messing with it to get it to finally close. It looks like this gear right here being a pain. We'll just open this up real quick. It's the springs tension. Alright, get this one back over. Oh, now its bearing fell off. Sometimes this is a really big pain to do. So if you're not comfortable with it, don't just jump into it. It's not that hard to learn, but it is a pain. It takes patience. Take this out, put that in there, and put this gear back in, and things how fell out, put that back in. Alright, like I said, you need to start with that side where that nub is, and then push the spring guide back in, or start with the other side. And you're just going to slowly try to move this stuff that needs to be moved to its proper spot. And it'll slowly fall into place. Just keep messing with everything. Making sure that everything's working. And then that's pretty much it. But, I mean, this one will stay together because of how weak the spring is, but sometimes you do need help to hold this piece down while you put the cover over, and then you can add all of the screws in, and then once it's screwed in like at least halfway, like the ones back here and then the ones down here because of that universal latch popping out, you want those secure, and maybe one over here, then you don't need help anymore. That's pretty much it, and I hope this helped you guys, and come back next week for more videos from us.